we are on our fourth section of the walk. Today is November the 11th, 2023, Armistice Day, but we're setting off on an amazingly beautiful, calm, sunny day. Very lucky to have this weather today. Sun's coming out. You can see Fishguard, Old Harbour down the bottom. And I was laughing at the beginning because I've got my daughter with me with the dog, and she was just walking towards me with a poo bag, right in the 360 camera, but she's turned around. So you can see Carn Ingley in front of me, and we're off. We're now walking towards the stones at the edge of Fishguard. I don't think they're original stones. I think they were put there as a memorial. And we can see out to sea, and we can also see where we were on section 3. And you can see the fort that we were at section 3 down below. Absolutely beautiful day. So lucky. John's pointing out something. What are you pointing out?
2 guns here.
What's here?
2 guns.
Guns? Oh gosh, oh yeah, I've never seen those before. They look like Second World War guns, don't they? They're obviously the guns that are actually defending the harbour. They look like, yeah, Second World War guns. We will try and make sure at 11 o'clock that we remember it's Armistice Day today. But I'll let you know, at the moment it's 9:30 a.m. in the morning. Fantastic view. And around the corner is Goodwick and the harbour. I read about when they put the breakwater in. The breakwater is made from rock from all the blasting when they blasted the cliff to make the harbour so that the big liners could actually dock in Goodwick. The railway came to Goodwick, and then they actually had a large transatlantic trade going from Fishguard over to the US. At one point it nearly rivaled the amount of traffic going from Liverpool to the US. It was huge up to the war, but then never got going again to the same extent after the First World War. And now we just have the traffic, but we have quite busy traffic backwards and forwards to Ireland from Goodwick. And obviously we've still got the rail link, although I'm not sure that it's as good as it was to London. I think it used to be all the way through to London. Lovely cliffs though, along here. The trees are now turning as we get into the autumn. It's a November day. We've lost a lot of leaves. I'm hoping it's not going to be too wet on the ground, but we'll see, because it has rained an awful lot in the last couple of weeks. Just climbed our first hill. An amazing view of Fishguard Old Harbour and Harbour Wall. Yeah. I know for a fact that my nephew's just recently surveyed the Harbour Wall, so I hope it's in good nick. Carn Ingle in front of us, and then looking out where we walked from Newport last time. Again, and on the walk today we've got John Dow. I've also been joined by my daughter today, Imogen, and we do have her dog with us today, Owen, which you might see. We are due to meet up with Ian and Anne Chambers in Goodwick, and as every walk, any of the members are welcome to join me. Just look on the web page as to when the next walk is, and you're welcome to join any section of this walk, this superb walk. And I think it's actually been a good idea to actually suggest doing it across the year, because we're seeing how beautiful the coast path can even be in a November day. Hopefully we'll get some nice crisp days in the winter. Hope it won't be too wet for me, we'll find out. But the coast path and the Pembrokeshire coast is beautiful any time of year. especially good today. There's no wind. It's a superb walking day. Sea stretching out in front of me. Excellent view here of Goodick and the harbour and the two great waters and the old hotel. We've got Owen woofing in the background, and we've got some information here about fish traps, how they would catch the fish, and again about the invasion and about trains that came to Goodick and brought and basically made Goodick what it is today, which is a large, what do I say? It's a large stop-off point so that you can actually have the international ferries that were going at the time, and now we've got the ferries that go to Ireland. We just stopped at a really lovely collage of all the big events around here. The French invasion, 1797. And it's set out in Welsh, and you can see that the boats coming in. I guess I'll try and go around this way. I think they got as far as the Royal Oak. And then they were stopped by armed women with a few broom handles. Great mosaic. Looking out to sea, I've just spotted a few oyster catchers. Lovely calm day as we head on down to Goodick and then up a big hill to get onto the real wild part of the coast path. There's so little wind today, we've got sculls out going across the harbour, which is a sight I've never seen. Absolutely beautiful. Onwards up the hill at Goodick. We're hugging the coastline, trying to work out where to go and cross the railway line. Can we cross the railway line here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we on the coast path?
Yeah, when you get over the bridge, you take a right.
Yeah.
And then you walk for about 200 yards, and then there's a zigzag that takes you up the hill to the village above the harbour.
Fine, that's exactly what we want to do.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we do cross the railway bridge here. The railway follow an old zigzag path up to the top of the hill, and then we are in Goodick Harbour village, which is at the top of the hill. Okay, so coming to the bridge, up the steep steps, across, and then up the zigzag path. That's the instructions. Gosh, they're quite narrow and noisy. Thanks. Hardly put my feet on them. Very narrow, aren't they? Gosh. Right, that's the bridge. Steps, honey. Into the sunshine again. out onto a road and turn right. Well, we're now on the zigzag path. It's very zigzaggy. I guess this has been here for a long time and must have been the paths used by workers that used to live in the village up at the top and work in the harbour down the bottom. It's quite wet underfoot and leafy, but not too bad. Here we go, another zigzag. And the old hotel down below looks as though it's having a lot of restoration work to it. So that's a good sign that that historic building has been saved. We just had a quick break and now we're all setting off round onto the open coastline. We've now got Anne and Ian Chambers with us. Now on the headland by Goodick, saying goodbye to the coastline that we've walked around in the last 3 sections, heading on towards Pwllderi. We will actually go past some rock formations here. We won't walk right up to them today, but there is a mini Giant's Causeway that some people don't know about here on the edge of the Goodick Peninsula. We walked there when it was COVID. All our family didn't arrive and we had nobody for Christmas. We actually walked to the Goodick headland and looked at the rock formations. Lovely bit of coastline in the bright sunshine. We've just got the Stena Line ship passing us quite closely. And this is quite a rocky section of walk. Quite muddy today, but quite doable and beautiful because the sun's out. Beautiful winter sunshine, bracken that's orange, and at the top of the hill in front of us I can see a stone which I know is going to be the memorial to the last invasion. We've just stopped at a seal colony. Hope you can see the seals. They're basically pups. It looks like their mothers now left them, but they're all staying together for protection of each other. There must be, I don't know, 50 seal pups there. Quite big and fat by this stage, but they've still got their white fur coming into this bay here. And beyond, you probably can't make it out, we've got the stone commemorating the invasion in 1797. So onwards to the stone will be our next port of call. So we're just coming out of the wood where the French invasion landed and the forces camped overnight in this wood before carrying on up into Fishguard. We will be going to look at the memorial now. So goodbye to the wooded glen and going on to the memorial. Apparently there is a farmhouse just up here that has got a bullet hole through its case of a clock inside the farmhouse. And I believe that the Friends have organised a walk in the past to look at the clock with the bullet mark. As you can see, the weather's fantastic. So on towards this stone. And hopefully we're about halfway today when we get to the stone. We're just approaching the stone, and we can see it says 1897. Is that right? Because it's a memorial that was put up 100 years after the invasion. Actually quite hard to make out the words, isn't it? Does it say? I can't read it. Gareg. I can't read it.
It's the name. That's yeah.
And it says Memorial Stone. Okay, fantastic views all around. 360 views. With cows in the field. Just stopped at an impressive gap in the rocks. The water's swirling around quite a lot, and there is a lone seal pup on its own in the gap. Carrying on along the path now. Fairly high up. Again, still a great day, lovely light. There are some walkers that are actually nearly the first walkers we've seen of the day walking the coast path in front of us. Haven't actually passed anybody today. Everywhere's quite wet, but it is manageable. And the track we're using has been used by lots of horses. I guess they are the wild ponies. Lots of horseshoe marks in the mud. Lots of gorse. Brightly coloured gorse everywhere. There's a cottage on the edge. Bridge across the stream. So, I've now met my first person today, even though it's been such a lovely day. There's definitely been less people on the coast path in November. But hello, and would you like to tell me what you're doing today?
Hi, yeah, we've just moved to Pembrokeshire and we're walking today from Pwllderi to well, back to Pwllderi on a circular walk.
Okay, so we
round past Strumble Head.
Fine, and we're actually going to Pwllderi. That's our destination.
Yeah.
I'm actually the chair of the Friends of the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park, and as chair, for my first thing I thought I would do is walk the whole of the coast path.
Oh, good for you!
So today we've been walking from Fishguard to Pwllderi. That's our stretch today. But we'll be continuing doing the rest of the coast for the rest of the year, basically, on and off, and hoping people join us.
Here to walk the coast path. So.
Well, okay. I can say, and I'll say on camera, if you want to become a member of the Friends, just have a look at the website because it's full of activities, walks to do, and it's a great way to meet people who love Pembrokeshire.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're well over halfway now, and what a dramatic piece of coastline here. Amazing rock formation slabs that are all diagonally slanting into the sea. Sea's getting a bit rougher now, but we've still got no wind. We can see miles away where we set off 3 sections ago, around the other side of Camai's Head. Just to think we've walked all that the way on our feet. And we're going forwards now to Pwllderi. It's been a really lovely day's walk. Got a few miles to go still. The sun is reasonably high in the sky, but we've got to make sure we get there on time because we're now in winter. And we obviously don't want it to get dark on the coast path. So we've got to keep going. This section, not too bad. Quite a lot of rocky outcrops. There's one coming up just here. But just splendid views all the way along. Here's somebody walking along the coast path. Or 2 people walking along the coast path. Again, another dramatic stretch. of this beautiful coast path. We saw the ferry go one way and we've just seen the ferry go the other as well, past. And there's also a yellow boat that's been following us all day. I don't know whether it's a fishing boat, it might be, or lobster pots, but that's been with us virtually all day, that yellow boat. And there's the lighthouse in front of us. Heading on down now towards the lighthouse. A bit rocky. Whoops. They were very rocky, nearly fell over. We live near St David's and you can certainly see this lighthouse from St David's Head all the way down this side of the coast. And here we have a sign saying Pwllderi, 3 miles to go. So we're on track to finish walking today by 4 o'clock. And off we go for the last 3 miles. Car park here at Stumblehead Lighthouse. First bit of civilization for the day. Okay, so we're saying goodbye to the lighthouse and walking into sunset basically. Beautiful stretch coming up now again. Lovely light, late afternoon. We should get there before dark. Rocky outcrops everywhere along this section. And signs to say look out for the beetles. It's a good view now of the lighthouse and the islands as we go past on up a hill. And I'm hoping at the top of this hill we'll get a good view of where we're going. We might be able to see Pembrokeshire, we might be able to see St David's Head, not sure what's at the top of this hill. Wait and see. Bit of a climb. Although I think you get fitter as the day goes on. I think we've all got enough energy to finish the walk. What view are we going to get? Lots of sea. You can hear rooks. Quite a good panorama here. Getting lots of gorse out to my right. Sun going down. Quite a lovely sky. To my left, I'll get it wrong. What is to my left? Those rocks? What are those, John? There. They name anything.
Carnvar.
Carnvar, I think. Very probably. I think someone said that they were walking back to there. That's very possibly right. And going back round to the way we came. So lots of gorse out. To the lighthouse. Going round. This is an interesting bit of rock with the sea coming in, and also in front of us the lovely browny orangey colour of the grass in front of us, so definitely an autumn stroke winter scene. You can hear the waves coming in. I think we're also walking through a boggy bit as well. There we go. Back on the path. Oh look, there's some heather. That's very nice. Another rocky outcrop to negotiate. And my fellow walkers are in front of me. Oh look, it's sort of grassy, quite reedy here. Interesting habitat. I don't know what sort of wildlife are in that. And also, in front of me, a waterfall. Lots of water. It has been raining for about a month previously, so the ground is very wet. The tall grass we're going through now. And up to the waterfall. Lots of streams, lots and lots of streams we've crossed today. Some of which I'm sure are bigger than they have been for a long time. I've actually got to cross this, so I may turn the camera off. I don't want to drop the camera in the stream. I think we may have reached the last high point of the day. There's a cairn here. Look at those dramatic clouds. We've got dark sky and a beautiful sort of cloud formation. You can see, I think that's Pwllderi and Pembrokeshire in a distance, and moving down, and we're hoping that the youth hostel is just down here now. Amazing view for the day. We can see, I know this is a 360 camera, but I can see 360 all the way around from where we've been today to where we'll be going in the next few sections. So the next section after today will be Pwllderi to Pwllderi, and then along the coast from Pwllderi to White Sands, and then round from St David's Head round to St Non's. So that's the next 2 or 3 sections that we're hoping to do in the winter. We will see what the weather brings, but today for a November day has been absolutely amazing. So hopefully this is the last mile or so, half a mile or so, of a brilliant day out on the coast path. And you can see it's wet still, wet from the previous month's rain we've had, but today has been totally dry, so I don't fall into these puddles. I'll try and keep this on a bit longer, but a spectacular end to the day. Going into a little bay. I stayed at this youth hostel just over 40 years ago when I first walked this section of the coast path. And that's when the very first time I came to Pembrokeshire and fell in love with Pembrokeshire, just over 40 years ago. I did most of the coast path then, but not all of it. This will actually be the first time that I've walked the whole of the coast path national trail, beginning to end, on this walk. So I'm looking forward to it. Interesting rock formations around here. The sea is a gorgeous dark turquoise today. Looking like we might have to go all the way down and all the way up just before we get to the end of our walk today. But I think we've got the energy to do it, thank goodness. Gosh, steep here. I'll leave it on and you can see what we're doing. Cliffs to my right. Keep the camera on for a bit. Here we go. Down we go. That sea is just amazing. The colour of the sea is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Gosh, this is pretty dramatic here. We think there's a smuggler's path from the beach, I guess, up with it, whatever contraband they were landing. Where do you think the path is? To the right, possibly up there? Let's see if we can spot it.
So you see there's like a gap through the rocks there. I think it goes through the rocks and then it goes actually like under, we go through like it's like a tunnel. I've gone down there before.
Okay, where
we went swimming.
There's a gap through the rocks which we think you can go through and then come out onto the beach. I'm holding the camera at the gap in the rocks. I don't think we're going to go down there today. I've never done this before, but my daughter says she has been through the gap in the rocks before and it pops out further down under the rocks and through and down on the beach. She's been swimming there. Amazing, amazing dramatic scenery for our last few minutes of this walk, or last half an hour or so.
Yeah.
I'm just showing you, if you can see it, the smuggler's path from the other side. You can see the path through the rocks, and then there's little steps carved out on the edge of the cliff edge. Absolutely amazing and dramatic, and my daughter tells me she did that once. I don't know when it was that she actually went through there and down those steps, but I certainly didn't know about it at the time. And whether you can actually still do that, I don't know, but absolutely amazing. And what dramatic cliffs for the end of the day, and what a dramatic sky also for the end of the day, with Pwllderi and Pembrokeshire in the distance. Absolutely amazing. Just showing you the smuggler's path a bit further down, and you can see more steps going down into the cove. Incredibly dramatic. It looks incredibly dangerous, and as I said, my daughter apparently has been down there swimming at some point. I don't think we're going to be doing that today somehow though. This is Olwyn Dog, who's been walking with us all day. I think she wants me to go and play with her and kick the stick, but she's been very good all day. What a beautiful end to a beautiful day. It's absolutely stunning. I've travelled the world, and Pembrokeshire is as stunning as anywhere that I've been. And you can also see on the hill here, this is a scheduled monument. The building is a radar station from the Second World War. And here we are at the end of the walk. We're sitting on the bench outside Pwllderi Youth Hostel. There it is. I believe this one may also be up for sale, but I don't know what's happening. As the Poppet Sands Youth Hostel was up for sale, I'm not quite sure what's happening about this one because it's got a covenant on it, but we'll find out. And we're sitting on the bench looking over a beautiful calm sea, a miracle for the last few days, looking over to Pwllderi and Pembrokeshire. So I think everybody, it's been a lovely day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's the end of section 4, and we're looking forward to walking section 5 in December.